Before there's a new self-portrait, there's stepping into the unknown. Can you see any video? No, okay, it's just a voice call. Okay, no, it's just you're coming through my computer, but it's totally fine. Well, no, I guess actually being in the UK, this is just gonna be able to speed things up temporarily. Typically, I'm directly printing onto aluminium. Now, I know this is something that I was having a chat with your colleague about a workaround. So I wanted to talk about the fabric. I actually have a sample. So I did this piece called Field of Dreams in Battersea, and I'm thinking that we can try and find a similar sample of fabric to hang, to suspend in the window. Well, the actual technical fabric name is called Flag. So it has like a nice weight to it, but it has this like viscosity and transparency, and it meets all of the fire regulations. Yeah, I was thinking perhaps in September to kind of see all of the test prints, just do a day trip, perhaps get some lunch with Mum, and we can kind of see where we're standing. I'll look out for the email next week and we can go from there. Okay, bye! Bye, thanks. I honestly never expected so many people to see Studio Journal #1 or to join me on this new poetic, cinematic, creative journey of the behind the scenes rawness of the life of a contemporary artist, of me. As I said in the previous video, I'm not going to do an introduction every video, so if you are joining me here in Studio Journal #2, thank you. Please subscribe and start at the video called Start Here, as it will explain everything and you'll be up to date with everybody else. But for everyone else, thank you for such, honestly, a encouraging and beautiful reception on the first video. Not gonna lie, it has then, I now feel a pressure for journal #2 to bring you along on this journey. As I said, I'm committed to this. I'm honestly so excited. You'll have just seen that I had my call with Paris, with the printers in Paris. Hello. Granger just reminded me that the rest of this video is going to be predominantly exhibition and self-portrait prep. So I just wanted to fill you in quickly on Paris. It was a super positive phone call. I should have an update on quotations in the next few days. The team think they can match my fabric sample from my exhibition in Battersea Power Station for the suspended piece that's going to go in the window, so that's really exciting. And all being well with the quote, I'm going to do a day trip to Paris in September at some point to check out the test prints. So with that being said, I think that I'm going to fill you in on everything that's been going on. Say goodbye, Granger. Goodbye. I went to my shipping container earlier to get red herring out of storage, because I think I mentioned last week that that is going to go into the London exhibition, which hopefully all the press release is now confirmed, and I think there's going to be an exclusive interview with a specific publication, which is also really thrilling. But I'm just trying to get all of those pieces of artwork logistically in one place so that when I ship them to London to install them for the photo shoot, it just saves an extra bit of time and hassle. Also, all of my coloramas have just arrived, and I think that I'm going to be ordering a different lace front, because for this portrait I have a very specific blue in mind, which for reasons will become apparent soon, and the blue of the colorama is perfect, but the blue of my current lace front wig isn't quite, tonally it's not right. And yes, these are things that I could change in post, but you will quickly learn with me, I like to capture everything as colour accurate in camera as much as possible. I think it has a way of playing with the skin tones, playing with the lighting, and it just, I think, gives like a richer dynamic in a painterly way to my portraits. So I am starting off on this new portrait, the title of which I do have, but I'm going to resist until next week's journal to share with you. I'm wondering if you might have a guess in the comments. The only reason being is I've only just started writing the poem for that, because I have a couple of kind of points of reference and inspiration, and there's a slight possibility the title may change. It probably won't, but I'm going to save that. I'm going to save that for next week. But as I said, I'm working on my sketches. I have a lot of historical hair reference points for this, because I think the hair is going to be really, really important to this artwork. So I'm going to run you through that. Basically, as a small step-by-step, when I first start a self-portrait, it starts with the research phase of all of the kind of like, what's the historical standpoint? What's the narrative? What is this character experienced in their life? Then it goes into the sketches, the ordering of backdrops, the ordering of wigs. Then I start building and constructing the wigs. And I'll leave it there for now and pick up the rest of the process in next week, because I want to show you all of my initial research and my initial sketches, because that's kind of where I've got to at the moment. This new portrait started from, I actually think, two main origin sources. One is this deep dive of research I've gone into Renaissance and medieval hairstyles. I've always been fascinated with hair, and I think it's something that has a lot of weight on nationality, identity, hierarchy especially to do with wealth and status in medieval England. And also just as something, as an exploration of identity as a woman. And I've just been so interested in the ways in which hair communicated different things in this specific period of England at the time. So that's kind of like one origin source of this concept that I've come up with. The second origin source was this poem that I was reading, some Emily Dickinson, and I stumbled across, let me find it. If any of you have this book, it is poem 613. I'll just read the opening part. They shut me up in prose as when a little girl they put me in the closet because they liked me still. Still, could themselves have peeped and seen my brain go round, they might as wise have lodged a bird for treason in the pound. And I kept on thinking about this poem. I kept on thinking about, what was she saying? What was she feeling? Why does this still seem so poignant to me in kind of, you know, what I want to explore and look at? And then this kind of phrase, which is going to be the title, popped into my head. And from that, I started doing a further dive into other symbolism around that period of time within kind of like the Renaissance period. I've actually just been to a couple of different medieval festivals where I was in full costume, and I think that that has kind of been sitting on my brain to do with kind of keying on metal, armour, different plating techniques, and it's all boiled down to this concept that I have for the next portrait. One of the reasons why blue has been so important to do with the colour of the colour armour and the lace front wig on which I want to start and construct this concept is blue has a massive heritage to do with symbolism, to do with isolation, to do with royalty and religion, and I'd started looking into different tonal shades, and once I get a visual in my head and I've done my early stage sketching, it just starts to fall into place. So that's kind of the stage that I'm at. I've done sort of like an initial sketch, which for me is more, I just want to kind of get it down fast, because it's that separation from it just being this abstract thing in my brain to just something on paper. And it's just a way of me blocking in form, making annotations, and justifying the colour that I'm thinking of at the time. Give me them. Give me them. Give me them. I think next week is where all the fun stuff happens. It's where I do all of my wig building once I have the right one for the Colorama. It's where I do all of my Polaroids and hair and makeup tests. It's where I rehearse my poetry for the post-production videos that I like to make. It's kind of where you start to see things coming together, and that's just honestly well, I don't know if it's my favourite bit, but it's one of my favourite bits. So I think that visually that's going to be way more exciting than me rambling about research, but the research is incredibly important to my process and the foundations of everything that I do. So Granger and I really hope that you enjoyed Studio Journal number 2. Thank you so much for joining me on this adventure, and I really hope to see you all again next week in Studio Journal number 3. Goodbye. Oh, hello. Kisses. Kisses.